O beloveds, O men of the desert, my Lord Muhammad, blessings and peace be upon him, commands me to speak. For I am the Mahdi, the expected one, and I am sprung from the forehead of the family of my Lord Muhammad, blessings be upon him. O my beloveds, did I not promise thee a miracle would fall from heaven from the Prophet Muhammad? And was not this so? Ye fight a holy war against the fat and the corrupt and the sinful and the unbelieving. Ye fight a war to restore to a disobedient, forgetful world the laws and commands of the Prophet Muhammad. Blessings and peace be upon him, whose instrument on earth I am. Exult ye not that men are dead, since more must die tomorrow. O my beloveds, in a vision the Prophet Muhammad has instructed me, let mountain and desert tremble, let cities shudder, and let the fat and the rich and the corrupt in far places mark this moment and turn in fear of all those miracles to come. And let none in all Islam from this victorious hour believe I am other than the expected one, the true Mahdi. Beloveds, it is the hour of prayer. Explain to me, somebody, where in heaven's name is Wolseley? Explain to me how a rabble of tribesmen armed only with spears and swords can destroy a modern army.
Not a British army, Prime Minister.
Who will ask me?
An Egyptian army.
I don't care whose army. 10,000 men, 10,000, a British officer commanding. Why did Egypt have to hire an Englishman?
Colonel Hicks was a fool.
Clearly, a fool. That's not the question. Why did he have to be English? Avenge Hicks. Uphold Britain's honor. Wolseley, I have the press at my throat. I'm summoned to Scotland to explain to Her Majesty. Will you explain to me?
Mr. Gladstone, Colonel Stewart, recently attached to military intelligence. The Colonel's just back from Khartoum. He will be able to explain better than I.
Colonel Stewart, sit down. Are these bulletins from Khartoum true?
It's over a month's travel from the Sudan, sir, so obviously I left before these events took place, but I assume they're true.
Why?
I was sent to Khartoum to assess the Egyptian capacity to deal with the uprising. I assessed it as nil.
Military intelligence. There's intelligence for you. After the event, they knew all about it.
My reports were delivered to Sir Evelyn Baring in Cairo before the event.
I was aware of the reports. I just didn't believe them. I'm Granville.
Hello.
The reports still don't explain to me, however, how a modern army could be slaughtered, virtually to the last man.
Colonel Hicks and his men, sir, were fighting for wages. The Mahdi and his men were fighting a holy war. Also, Hicks made a very bad mistake. He thought he was fighting an ignorant savage, and he wasn't. The Mahdi is the most extraordinary man the Sudan's ever seen. And he knows his people. He promised them a miracle. He had to deliver it.
Even so, Colonel Stewart, the extent of the disaster.
The disaster, sir, has little to do with the loss of 10,000 men. It's their arms. Egypt was unequal to a horde of desert tribesmen when they'd scarcely a pistol to call their own. What does she do now? Now that they've captured 10,000 Remington rifles, 5 batteries of artillery, and very nearly 5 million rounds of ammunition.
And I must add, what will become of Egypt if the Mahdi occupies Khartoum and the Khartoum arsenal?
What a jolly day you'll have with Her Majesty tomorrow.
Gentlemen, let me make one thing clear. I'm sending no armies up the Nile. You, Harting, sir, your imperialist friends, you're looking for any excuse to move into Central Africa.
We are discussing Egypt. We have a moral responsibility to Egypt.
A moral responsibility. We have the Suez Canal. Say it.
Egypt protects Suez. We protect Egypt.
Why in heaven's name can't Egypt protect herself?
We've just heard from Colonel Stewart. She's not up to it.
Colonel Stewart? Oh, I've no doubt he's like the rest of you. He can see himself leading a British army 1,600 miles up the Nile. Flags flying, glory for all.
I beg your pardon, sir. Before I'd accept such a command, I'd resign my commission. I wouldn't spend one British life to oppose the Mahdi, not in the Sudan.
I assumed you were for intervention.
You didn't ask my opinion, sir. Well, I want it, by heaven, if it agrees with mine.
Gentlemen, I shall suggest to Her Majesty in Scotland tomorrow that we shall discharge our obligations to Egypt by evacuating all the Egyptians from Khartoum.
How, without either the British Army or loss of British honor?
I shall entertain suggestions as to just how. Gordon. Chinese Gordon.
What's Gordon doing now? He's made a contract with the King of the Belgians to take over the Congo from Mr. Stanley.
We can arrange that with Brussels. Send Gordon to Khartoum. The man who led the Chinese Emperor's armies to victory after victory, carrying only a cane, send him to Khartoum.
Without an army?
Gordon doesn't need an army. Yes, remember, without a single British soldier, he ended slavery in the Sudan. He's a hero. To the Sudanese, to the English, to the anti-slavery people, to the churchmen. Send him to Khartoum and he'll be applauded from Land's End to Inverness. And Her Majesty.
Granville, you're wasting my time. The man's a mystic. He's an idealist with ideals strictly his own. Give him an instruction. He treats a military order as if it were a birthday greeting. Besides, I trust no man who consults God before he consults me.
May I speak, sir? In my opinion, General Gordon would refuse. After all, when he went to the Sudan as Governor General and put down the slave trade, with nothing but his own audacity and a few loyal lieutenants, sir, he didn't face the Mahdi. He didn't face a holy war, and he didn't face 10,000 Remington rifles. If you send him to Khartoum on his own now, you simply fail.
What a pity.
Sir, if General Gordon accepted your proposal in the conditions of today, my respect for him would end. He'd be the vainest man alive.
Thank you, Colonel Stewart. Now would you leave us to our deliberations, and my congratulations on the excellence of your report. I like that man. Did I understand you correctly? If we send Gordon to Khartoum, Gordon, a national hero, and he fails, then the blame will fall on him, not on the government. It could happen that way. It's the most abominable proposal I've ever entertained. Granville, the Colonel had a point. Just why would Gordon do it?
Because he's a patriot and a man of conscience. Or perhaps the vainest man alive.
I dislike everything about this. Worse, I distrust it. I know nothing about this conversation. But let me know in Balmoral what Gordon says. Her Majesty would be so pleased. Apologize for the secrecy, Gordon. Politics. Let's not waste time with formalities. Sit down, please. I can't keep the train for Scotland waiting forever, or there'd be curiosity. We need few words. Granville will see you tomorrow with a proposal so disreputable that I can have nothing to do with it. Publicly, privately, I ask you to accept it. Why? Because it will provide me with political comfort.
I can conceive of no commodity, sir, that could interest me less. I'm not a free agent, you know. I leave for the Belgian Congo within weeks.
Granville could arrange that. Gordon, the Sudan was your child. I don't need to inform you it's in the gravest danger.
You don't need to inform me.
Gordon, I cannot and will not send military forces up the Nile, but I admit Khartoum cannot be left to its fate without some gesture.
Am I the gesture?
The whole country knows your capacities. You've done before alone what an army of blunderers can't do.
What's the proposal?
That you go to the Sudan, supervise the evacuation of Khartoum.